Hello and welcome to Shanmugam IAS Academy. This is Ashwin. I welcome you all for today's current events of the day. Let us take up the topics for today's discussion. We are having almost 4 topics which are very important towards prelims as well as mains. So the first one is Health Ministry releases National Policy for Rare Diseases 2021. NITI Aayog launches AIM Prime to support science-based startups. Maternal mortality rose during pandemic, Lancet Report. India contributes $3 lakh to United Nations Women. So let us take up the first one, that is Health Ministry releases National Policy for Rare Diseases. So rare diseases is all of the diseases which has been defined by our WHO, that is World Health Organization. A rare disease as a lifelong disease or disorder that often highly weakens an individual. So it will be prevailing across or throughout life of an individual person. So this is that rare disease. So it has prevalence of 1 or less per 1,000 population. So if there is 1,000 persons, almost 1 person will be affected with this kind of rare diseases. What are those? Hemophilia, a blood related thing, a thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, so calcium deficiency, autoimmune diseases, among others. However, every country has its own definition for rare diseases. Even though WHO defines rare diseases as a prolonged diseases or disorder in a person's life cycle, other countries also having their own description and definition about that rare disease. The US has a definition as a condition that affects fewer than 2 lakh patients in the country. So if a disease which affects which occurs below 2 lakh people, means the importance to that disease given will be very much low, because government will not be focusing on that single person. Each and every citizen of a country is very much for that country. This rare diseases is not concentrated by the governments almost all over the world. Likewise, the EU defines rare disease as a life-threatening or chronically debilitating condition. It should affect no more than 5 in 10,000 people. So every country having their own prediction based on the data they are having. National Policy for Rare Diseases 2021. The policy aims to lower the incidence and prevalence of the rare diseases. So that is why they are implementing this new policy. So basically they are going to give the preventive strategy. So this strategy will be creating awareness and counseling programs, providing affordable health care, and among others. The features, the policy categories rare diseases into 3 groups. The one is disorders amenable to one-time curative treatment. So if one-time treatment is given, if the disease is disappeared, comes under group 1. In group 2, diseases requiring long-term or lifelong treatment. So for example, if you take cancer, it will be taking much amount of time. Cancer is not a rare disease. So I'm just saying an example. So if we have any kind of disease like this, it will be taking much time to be curated. Group 3, diseases for which definitive treatment is available. So we are having definitive treatments like medicines and proved technologies. Likewise, we are having a definite solution for the treatment, but challenges are to be make an optimal patient selection for benefit. So these all are the 3 categories which comes under the rare diseases 2021 policy, national policy. Government support. The government will provide financial support of up to 20 lakh under the Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi. So this is umbrella scheme under which the government is giving to the rare disease affected persons up to 20 lakhs. The beneficiaries for such financial assistance would not be limited to BPL families. About 40% of the population eligible under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana will be eligible to the assistance of the government. For group 2, the state governments can consider supporting specific patients. So it is not a fully sponsored, even though it is a fully sponsored center sector scheme, it allows state governments also to participate in this scheme. Funding. The government has said that it will assist in voluntary crowdfunding for the treatment of group 3. So we have discussed those three. It is because it will be difficult to fully finance the treatment of high cost rare diseases of group 2. So we are having the medicine. We are treating the infected person or a deceased person. So we are taking much time, and this cost of this medicine is higher. So we are needing fund. So government will not be giving the fund throughout. So it will be collecting funds through crowdfunding. So it means it will be taking funds to the people, from funds to the people. Objection to the policy. The policy offers no support to patients awaiting treatment. Since the earlier national policy for treatment of rare diseases 2017 was kept on hold, the policy has left patients with group 3 rare diseases to fend for themselves. It has absolutely no consideration for group 3 patients who require lifelong treatment support. Yes, that is why we have discussed earlier, government needs crowdfunding to cure these patients, because government cannot be funding this prolonged period of treatment. Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi scheme. It provides Nidhi in the sense of financial assistance. In Tamil and Hindi also it is financial assistance to patients living below the poverty line, so BPL, and who are suffering from major life-threatening diseases to receive medical treatment. So it can replace this group 3 here. So group 3 patients will be treated through this Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi scheme, even though it is not in the group 3 policy. NITI Aayog launches AIM Prime to support science-based startups. So NITI Aayog is a national institution for transforming India, in an association with Bill and Melinda Gates. It is Bill Gates, Microsoft's owner in America. He is having this foundation, Bill and Melinda. So they are husband and wife. They are having this forum. So through this forum, our government, the NITI Aayog, is going to engage with Bill and Melinda a foundation, and they are going to implement the science-based startups up to the period of 12 months. So Venture Center, a non-profit technology business, is the implementation agency. The program is open to technological developers, CEOs and senior incubation managers of AIM funded Atal incubation centers that are supporting deep tech entrepreneurs. Benefits of the program. The candidates who has been selected through this program will be getting the access to visas, lecture series, live stream projects, exercise and project specific mentoring. They will also access to deep tech startups playbook, curated video library, plenty of peer-to-peer learning opportunities. So it is a education based thing also. Deep techs are very high cutting edge and disruptive technologies. These tech based on scientific discoveries, engineering, mathematics, physics and medicine. For example, a new medical device or a technique fighting cancer, data analytics to help farmers grow more food, or a clean energy solution trying to lessen the human impact on climate change. So these all are the important things in which these institutions are focusing on. So please have a note on it. Maternal mortality rose during pandemic. Lancet Report says. Lancet is a US based report. They used to release many more reports, so you can have a important topics based on the report releases, and the data is released by the reports. You can use that for your mains answer writing. So what it says, so it has identified 17 countries and analyzed 40 studies. The report provides a clear indication that the health of women and babies experienced worst outcomes due to the pandemic. So risk of the maternal mortality. So maternal mortality in the sense either the child or the mother. So most usually maternal in the sense mother. So maternal mortality in the sense mortality means death. So most of the time mothers used to die during their pregnancy. So why it is this thing? During pregnancy or childbirth increased by more than a third compared to pre-pandemic instances. So it has increased during this COVID-19 pandemic. Global lockdowns, disruption in maternal health services, a reduction in health seeking behavior, and fear of getting infected from health providers added to the pregnancy risks and led to the worsened health outcomes for women and children. So most of the time they are not given with the aid of the medical allowances and medical treatments, because curfews were imposed, people were kept uh, in home, so they were not allowed to go out. So some of the incidents, some of the rare cases in the countries like India and other countries, we have allowed the pregnant women for the treatment, and we have allowed the doctors also to reach them at home. The chances of stillbirth in the sense, it means a baby born who with no signs of life at 28 weeks of pregnancy or more. So at 28 weeks of pregnancy, the baby borns without any action of life. So almost it's died. The study focused maternal mental health. It found an increase in postnatal depression, postnatal in the sense after giving birth, prenatal in the sense during birth, pregnancy, maternal anxiety are both during pandemic. So these are all the important things, because women were kept under home, so they were supposed to have this psychological treatments. Impact of pandemic on India. According to HMIS data, the Population Foundation of India, during the national lockdown between April and June 2020, same period in 2019, 27% drop in pregnant women receiving 4 or more antenatal checkups. So women were not able to go out, so they avoided this antenatal checkup. 28% decline in institutional deliveries, 22% decline in prenatal services. So India, next one, India contributes $3 lakh to the United Nations women. United Nations, we have seen earlier the global gender disparity. So gender gap index. So India has rise to 146 position among the world's countries participated. United Nations Women is the United Nations entity dedicated to promoting gender equality. So to reduce the things, so what are the things? To giving the equal opportunity, to providing uniform employment and equal treatment. These are all the things which will lead to this progress of women in the and reducing the women inequality. The objectives of United Nations Women to support entire governmental bodies, to help the member states, to hold the United Nations system accountable. So these are the three things in which the government, this United Nations focus on to reduce the gender gap index and to increase the women's participation all over the world. So with this we wind up today's session. We're having almost 84 days from today's day to our 2021 prelims examination. So please be focused on either both of the current affairs and the static portion. Please be focused towards static portion now on. Please read those NCERTs, which will be so much helpful for you guys. Thank you for watching. Let us wind up this session.